This is Scott joining from Glassdoor today. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, we are going to go over the best places to work winner criteria for our awards in 2018, which will be announced in early December 2017. So by the date of this recording, just a few months from today. We are recording this and giving this to you to help employers everywhere get in the running to be named a Glassdoor Best Places to Work. We'll also go through some of the benefits if you are lucky enough to be named a Glassdoor Best Places to Work. And again, we'll really go through all of the criteria, the ins and outs of what each employer is being evaluated on this year. And finally, we'll wrap up with answers to some of the common questions that we receive here at Glassdoor all throughout the year. So let's get started. Quickly, here's the agenda, kind of just mentioned it, the benefits of being a best place to work, the criteria for the 2018 awards, again being announced in early December 2017, and again, then some top questions that we hear year-round. All right, so why strive to be a best place to work? Well, if your sole purpose of trying to be named a best place to work is to get on a list, well, that is actually not the leading reason that you should try to be a best place to work. Simply put, if you are a best place to work, you will see a ripple effect of benefits to the candidates that you see apply to your jobs, the interest from who you see, and it's going to help you hire. So we will tell you, though, a little bit about making our list. It's still quite impressive, and we know employers love it, and we're very happy and proud of that. So in the first week alone, we see thousands of news coverage, thousands of news hits from around the world identifying the best places to work in 2018 in the United States, to Canada, to the UK, to India, Australia. So job seekers everywhere see it. So employers on the list get a lot of exposure. Also, want to let you know there are some inherent benefits that if you do make it on the list, how it can impact your recruiting and hiring efforts. Number one, today's candidates, about 8 in 10 of them, trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And so if you make this list of best places to work, you know that employees who have shared organically and authentic and organic reviews online, that really is influencing other job seekers who are thinking about applying to your jobs. Number two, we know that a bad company reputation can cost a company at least 10% more when it comes to hiring. And so if you make it on a list such as the best places to work, you're going to see higher quality candidates at a lower cost per hire. That's something all employers want. Also, when employees are generally satisfied, they love coming to work, guess what? Other candidates will take notice, and they are more likely to want to apply to your jobs. All right. One other thing we want to just point out, we have a chief economist in-house here at Glassdoor, and he's actually done an analysis looking at the list of best places to work, those that are publicly traded, compared to the S&P 500. And guess what? He found out there is a strong correlation with employment satisfaction and financial performance. In fact, the publicly traded best places to work companies, they outperform the S&P 500 on average by 122%. So if you invest in company culture, remember, it's not just about making a list. If you truly invest in company culture, there are great financial benefits impacting the bottom line that employers see when you have, guess what, satisfied employees who tend to stay longer, and they also tend to be more productive and more engaged day in and day out. All right, moving forward, let's get to what everyone wants to know, and that is the criteria for the 2018 Employees Choice Awards for the best places to work. So here at Glassdoor, come early December, we will be publishing 6 lists, 2 in the United States. The first one is honoring large employers, so those with 1,000 or less employees. And the second list is honoring employers that are small and medium, 1,000 or less employees, excuse me. The one identifying the large employers is 1,000 employees or more. I want to be very clear about that. I just misspoke, so thank you. There are 8 attributes that we consider when computing the best places to work. We're able to identify via trends over time what makes up a best place to work. And so led by our data science team, we look at the 8 trends, the 8 attributes you see on your screen right now. As I mentioned, for the U.S. large companies, which is 1,000 employees or more, a company must have at least 75 ratings across these 8 workplace attributes by U.S.-based employees. For the U.S. small and medium companies list, employers must have at least 25 ratings across all 8 workplace attributes. All right, moving forward, in addition to quantity of reviews, we also look at quality of reviews. And this is something we're very proud of at Glassdoor. Over time, we're able to identify quality, helpful reviews that truly help job seekers get more perspective into what it's like to work at a company. And so a quality review basically is one that really shares what is it truly like to work at a company. And this includes what's working well, what needs improvement, and advice to senior management. These are quality reviews because there's added information into all facets of a company, and we know that job seekers like that. Finally, we also look at consistency of reviews. And really what consistency is when computing awards methodology is we look at the quality and quantity of the reviews as they trend over time. Basically, if there is a lack of quality or a lack of quantity over time for an employer, it can impact results and or their eligibility. All right, so that's really the methodology at a very high level there. Let's get to some specifics, and we see these specifics in some of the top questions that we hear from employers all throughout the year. So number one, employers always ask us, what do you mean when you say Glassdoor approved reviews are considered? So everyone doesn't know this, but on Glassdoor, for a review to even appear on site, it actually goes through a multi-tier review process that can include both technological and human touch review. I share this because that really shows and underscores just how seriously we take our data integrity here at Glassdoor. So every review submitted to Glassdoor does not appear on site. About 5 to 10% of the reviews submitted to Glassdoor do not appear on site simply because they do not meet our community guidelines and or our terms of service. So yes, the strong majority of reviews do make it on site because they meet our community guidelines and or terms of service, but there are some reviews that do not make it on site. The ones that do not make it on site are not Glassdoor approved, and so they would not be considered for awards purposes. All right, another question that we get when we issued the Best Places to Work 2018 criteria this past summer, employers ask us, but what do you mean by enough reviews across 8 categories? Okay, what we mean by this is it is not simply enough for, let's take for instance the U.S. large list. Identifying employers with 1,000 or more employees. If you have 75 employees submit reviews based in the U.S. over the past 12 months, that is not necessarily enough to be considered for the awards fully. What the data science team is looking for here is at least 75 ratings across all 8 categories that we look at. So what that means is for at least 75 U.S.-based employees, people that are rating the overall company rating, at least 75 people rating business outlook, at least 75 people rating workplace factor ratings such as career opportunities or work-life balance. And it goes on and on. So at least 75 ratings across those 8 attributes outlined at the start of this video. All right, another frequent question we get is, if some employees do not provide a location in their review, are they considered for awards? The answer is yes, certainly. So while it is optional for job seekers to submit their review on Glassdoor, meaning they can say they're based in Austin, Texas, or they can just say, no, I'm not going to give my location. We here for awards purposes know where our users are based. So don't worry, if someone does not submit their location, don't worry, we take into the location into account when looking at awards criteria. All right, another question that we get from employers: when is the deadline to meet the consideration requirements? So as we published this past summer, this cycle for the best places to work in 2018, the window that we look at are reviews submitted on November 1st, 2016 through October 22nd, 2017. So at the time of this recording, that's just a few weeks from today. And kind of a follow-up question that we hear from employers a lot is, if October 22nd, 2017 is in fact the deadline, is that to submit a review or have it posted on the site? The answer is simple. It is just to submit a review. So to get very technical, for awards purposes, we consider all reviews that are submitted to Glassdoor up until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, October 22nd, 2017. So for people who are really looking at when is the last time that an employee could submit a review, it is at that date and time I just mentioned. And so we look at reviews submitted up until that time frame. All right, another question we get from employers all the time is, where can I track this if I'm qualified or not to be considered for a Best Places to Work award? Can I do this in the Employer Center? So the answer right now is no. Within the Employer Center, there is not a set feature that you can track for awards purposes, whether Best Places to Work from Glassdoor or highest rated CEOs, how you are tracking towards a specific award. However, that's something that we're considering and maybe looking into in the future. Right now, the best advice that we give to employers is to look at the reviews submitted on site, what you see on your actual pages, or within the Employer Center for free. With a free employer account, all employers can simply download the reviews. And this may not give you the full picture of exactly how you're doing, but it can give you a very good snapshot into how you're tracking for the US award for Best Places to Work, the UK award, or any Glassdoor award. All right, and one of the final questions we get is, well, what are the top traits that Best Places to Work winners have in common? And let me tell you, I love this question because it's not focused on how do I make your list or any other list. It is focused on how do I be a best place to work? Because when I know I'm a best place to work, I'm going to recruit the most informed and quality candidates. It is going to help our company's bottom line, and it's going to lead to more engaged and more productive employees. So the top traits of Best Places to Work winners, whether you're Salesforce, whether you're In-N-Out Burger, whether you're REI, whether you're a big financial company. And so I say this because these are employers across a lot of different industries, a lot of different sizes, but here's what they have in common. Number one, they all have mission-driven company cultures. So time and time we see the employees writing reviews that actually say, we have a great company culture. I love coming to work. I feel this is a great place for me. So they believe in the mission, they know why it matters, and they actually also understand how their work correlates back to the company's overall mission day in and day out. So they know why their work matters and they believe in it. Number two, employees talk about great career opportunities. So they talk about a lot of potential for upward mobility at a company, whether big or small, regardless of what industry they're in. Number three, they also talk about trust in senior leadership. They talk about really believing in their senior leaders, that they're doing the right thing by the company, but also that they're very transparent, that they clearly communicate with their workforce, sometimes crossing time zones or geographical borders, finding ways to communicate with their workforce about where the company is going in the short term and where it's going in the long term. And what employees really like is when they also communicate about kind of the state of the state and how that relates back to the employees' tasks day in and day out. So again, it's enabling those employees to really understand why their work matters. Then some other traits. Those are three of the leading traits, but things we also see employees talking quite favorably about are working on really interesting work that impacts people all over. We see them talking about really smart colleagues that push them to do their best. Of course, we do see some mentions of great perks and benefits. And then also we see some mentions of just loving to go to work, loving going to work, feeling like it is their family away from home. And with that, that is our video today. If you'd like to learn more about the 2018 Best Places to Work, please go to Glassdoor for Employers. And specifically, if you want to read more about the criteria, even more specifically, go to the Glassdoor for Employers blog and just search for the blog post that announced the Best Places to Work 2018 criteria. Thanks for joining us, and good luck.